I'm Mac. So I know this video is a little interesting, a little weird. It is not any of the gameplay footage that I probably should be doing right now. I got inspired for a project, and I'm taking you guys with me. 3D art is something that I have genuinely always been somewhat interested in. I've always thought it was really cool. I just haven't done it. I've never taken that final leap and really tried to do it. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm actually genuinely going to take that leap, try something new. And no, I'm not using Blender. I've tried to use Blender. I followed that stupid donut tutorial. It did not go my way. But I recently watched this video by Rosaria, and at first I was like, hold on, I'm sorry, are you using Blockbench, the fucking program for Minecraft? That's genius. Like, I don't know why it never occurred to me that this program could be used for something other than Minecraft. It is a 3D modeling software that's honestly pretty simple, and I just never thought about that. Because I have used Blockbench. It was a long time ago, but I have used it before. Because I've always been interested in 3D to some capacity, and I thought I could make Minecraft models. I have used this app, and I just never thought about making anything else other than Minecraft objects from it. So obviously I watched this video and I go, oh, I have to try this. I have to do this. Now, I didn't want to take months and months to do this project, so what I did was I gave myself 1 week to get this done. I'm going to try to do as much as I can in a week to get this video out, basically. It's kind of what I was thinking. Now, did I do that? Who knows? We'll see. I'll tell you later. And I was super excited to actually try this, and originally I was going to make this 3D model of one of my OCs. Now, I've been a little obsessed with him, so I decided to not do that. I've done a lot with him recently. I need to calm down. He may or may not have invaded my brain, and he's all I can think about. But that's what happens with your characters. It's fine. It's okay. Any artist will tell you that this is something that happens to them. I love him so much. But I didn't want to use him for this project. Maybe a future one. So I decided to use my Sona instead. Because, well, why not, you know? I have this whole persona that I really haven't used yet. I mean, I've done a drawing or two, but, I haven't really used it. And this is the perfect opportunity for that. Now let's talk game plan, alright? Day 1. The first thing, I am tweaking the Sona's design. I know. I am tweaking the design though. Next, I'm going to do a turnaround so that I have a front, side, and back view of the model so that I can keep proportions the same throughout the entire thing, make sure everything aligns itself, that's why I need one. I should probably start making those for my OCs themselves, but it's fine. We don't need to talk about that. It's fine. And then I'm going to finish out that day by starting to watch a few tutorials, try to learn what I can from those. Day 2, I'm just going to, if it's not done, finish out the turnaround sheet, and then I'm going to start messing around in the program, seeing what I can do and try to figure out on that first day of me actually using it. Day 3 is some more messing around in the program. I'll probably try and start the model, and probably cry a little, because it's 3D. I'm not very good at that, so it's fine. Day 4 is right back to it. I'm going to keep going at the model, try to get as much done with it as I can. And if I'm being honest, I will probably throw out my first attempt because, well, it's probably not going to be good. Kill your darlings and all that. I do that a lot with a lot of my projects. Day 5, I'm going to watch even more tutorials, try to figure out how to, rig the face, make sure that I can change expressions on it. Because I do know you have to do something slightly different than, a normal program, I think. I don't know. I don't know a lot about other softwares for 3D, but I do think this one's a little weird to do it. Day 6 is for whatever I'm forgetting to do, because I feel like there's something important that I need to get done. Day 6 is for that. And day 7, final touches. Now, I don't know how well I'll follow this plan. I did make one. I did try and make a plan. I'll make that very clear. I set out a timeline. I don't know how well I'll follow it yet. But well, let's get into it. Okay, so technically I started this really late, Saturday evening, rather than like Sunday morning. But I'm not going to count it as like a full day. But I did in fact do some things right before the project because I got a little antsy and wanted to try it. I wanted to get started. Now, Sona redesign. And I know, I just made this. This thing is barely 2 months old. 3 months old. What month is this? Whatever. It's barely, it's not that old. And I just made it. But I do need to change some things about it. Those arm things I made, I don't draw them. I have no reason to draw them. They're confusing. Realistically, no clue how they stand up. Like, I don't know how they would stay on your arm. They were just fun, but I am getting rid of them. Instead of the weird arm things, I don't even know what they would be called. Sleeves? The weird sleeves? Yeah. Instead of those, I'm going to give myself an artist glove and then, like, a half-long sleeve jacket thing. I don't know how I would describe that, but, like, one full sleeve and then one no sleeve, basically. And I do actually think this does make more sense, like, top-wise. Like, I think it actually makes everything more realistic in a way. Like, oh, yeah, no, that would actually be something that somebody could wear, rather than, how does that work? Because that's kind of what it was. I was just putting cool things that I thought were fun on the model. And I don't really draw them anyway, so there was no point in keeping them. I don't really have a lot to say with, like, actually making the turnaround. I've never really made one before. I definitely should have. Because one of the main things, and most of the things I'm interested in, like comics, animations, require that kind of thing. Not saying I've done either one of those, but they are things that interest me, and I should probably start doing more turnarounds for my characters, because it would make sense to. And interestingly enough, I actually don't think I've ever really drawn, like, a full, like, side body before. I've definitely tried, but they never have turned out. But this one, I'm actually kind of proud of this. This one actually came out really well, and I'm kind of proud of how I did that, because I've never really done it before, and I was like, oh, okay, I can do things. I can art. I'm an artiste. Now, I'm not saying that everything in this turnaround is, like, 100% aligned or anything. I definitely think things are off proportion-wise, but it's fine. It's going to get the job done. I just kind of needed everything to be there and, like, relatively even. And don't look too closely at this, because the back with, like, the heeled boot and then the way the hand sits, I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. Again, I started this really late Saturday night, and I was kind of tired, and my brain just went, I don't know, and gave up. I slapped a background on just for decoration, just because I can, and, well, sheet's done. I finished the sheet before the project even started, technically. Day one starts with the turnaround already done, so technically I'm already ahead, and I can cram as many tutorials as I can in this day to try to really retain as much information as I can. And now, the first thing I did actually was when I opened the program, it gave you, like, a couple tutorials that you could watch, one of them being this, like, red truck, so I went, oh, okay, let's do that. This tutorial actually was really simple to follow, like, super simple. It's a really great kind of starting point, I would say, honestly. It was super simple. I was able to follow it pretty easily. I don't really think I messed a lot of things up. I do think I messed something up. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but it was a relatively simple and easy thing for me to do, especially as a beginner within this program. Now, there's really not a lot that I want to say about this specific tutorial and this specific truck I made, and that's totally not because I'm writing this, like, days after, and I don't really remember much about me doing this. But I don't really think there was much to say anyway, but the end result was this little truck. Look at this guy. Isn't he cute? Isn't he amazing? I made this. I think he's so fun. Next, what I did was I watched this, like, basics video of all of, like, the basics within the program. And I know what you're thinking. That sounds a little backwards. Why wouldn't you start with that? Simple answer, I didn't see that first. I saw the truck first. But, like, a genuine answer is something I do a lot, is what I do is I take a beginning tutorial, I follow it, try to see, like, what that tutorial shows me, what is, like, supposed to be common knowledge within the program itself. What do I need to figure out on my own? I watch a tutorial that doesn't give you the basics for a very specific reason. What can I figure out on my own? What do I need to look up? What are like, what is the basics of this program that I have to that I can figure out on my own. So, there were definitely some things that I didn't know how to access when I did the truck thing, and I had to click around in the program. I found things that I wouldn't have otherwise found, It's kind of why I do it. I do it so I can, figure the program out for myself before trying to find the basics. And then when I watch that basics video, I'm like, oh, that's where that thing I was looking for was, and that's such an easier way to get to it than whatever the hell I did. Or, oh, that's how you do that? Oh, I did that in such a backwards way. Or, hey, I already figured that out. Actually, I don't really need to look at that. It is really backwards, don't get me wrong, but it works for me. It's an interesting way for me to figure the program out on my own, but also figure out what I need to learn too. I hope that made sense. I'm not entirely sure it did. Now, I'm not gonna go through every single thing I watched this entire time, but I watched these two to try to figure out facial things. I looked at riggings and other people doing time lapses to see what they do, how they do things, and then I watched this video for face rigging, which is really helpful. It's actually super helpful, super simple to follow. I definitely recommend this one if you want to do faces. And then as I'm watching that, I realized that I never actually made a facial sheet reference for what I wanted. So that's kind of how I ended off day 2. Day 2? Oh yeah, this is day 1 and 2. Did I say that? I don't think I did. This is technically day 1 and 2 because they're very similar. But the first 2 days were literally just me taking as many tutorials, time-lapse process videos as I could find and watch them, basically. That was the point of day 1 and 2. And after watching all of these, I actually genuinely felt pretty confident in myself. I felt like I knew to an extent what I was doing and how to do things. And I just wanted to try to make something. And that is how I began. I wanted to see if I could make something without following a tutorial one-to-one. If I could just do it off the top of my head with my own brain and just go for it. Now, I did just make another truck. It was simple. It was easy. And I'm already not gonna lie, I fully already forgot most of that first tutorial video. I it's in the back of my mind, but I don't remember everything about it. I just kind of did what I thought was right, especially after watching other videos. I was combining my knowledge. I do start and delete this project 2 or 3 times because I just wasn't getting it. And at one point, I do pull up my other truck as a reference because it helps. It helps to have a reference, whatever reference that is for you. But I did pull it up as a reference and try to figure things out that way. But honestly, this truck actually came out really well. I wasn't prepared for how well it came out. I thought I was going to struggle a lot more than I did. But I think that's a very big pro with this program, is it's not complicated. It is a simple program for more simple things, but it's easy to use. And so me making this truck off the top of my head wasn't super hard. And I'm pretty damn proud of it, okay? And now look, I did not start the model today. I know I technically was supposed to, but oops. In my defense, the last few days I have been doing this right after I get off of work, so it's already pretty late for me, and unfortunately I do need sleep. I don't want to try to mess up my sleep schedule any more than it already is messed up. So after doing most of these, I do have to go to bed, and then, sadly, I do have to work. That is something I have to do. But that just basically means that the next day is I can fully devote myself to starting the model and doing the model because I don't have work. Day 4, I plan to just sit down and do the model. Y'all, guys, okay, I did those 2 trucks, and I was so confident in myself. I was ready to go in. I was ready to get this done. I was ready to just spit out this fucking human. I was way too confident. I was way too cocky. Who would have thought that trucks and people are so wildly different? Who would have thought? Yeah, making a human, a lot harder than making a truck. A lot harder. I got humbled real quick. And while doing this, I do want to say something. I actually think I like how Blender does their references, because in this program, it just stays in like one spot, where I'm pretty sure in Blender you can like make it move with your camera. I don't know if that's right. I don't know if I'm just making that up, but I'm almost positive that you can like move the reference with you. And I do like that a little bit better, which is the only kind of con I really have in this program. But even then, it's not that big of one, you know? Like, I don't really have a lot of downfalls for this program in particular. I really liked it. I really liked this program, actually. I do decide to start doing this model by, like, blocking out the shapes of it. So, you know, I'm putting the head, the neck, the torso, and stuff. Like, I'm putting them, like, proportionally wise how I want them. Don't get attached to it. Don't get attached to it. I don't keep it. I do not keep it. I'm going to be so honest here. I get rid of that real quick, actually. I restarted this a few times. I did a couple different things with the faces because I wasn't sure how I wanted to make the head. I was watching a few different tutorials on how people did it, and I didn't know which one would work best for me. Eventually, I got to a point that worked. It's not the best. It's definitely not perfect. But I don't need it to be perfect. It's my first model ever. It's okay if it's a little messy and things don't work out, you know? But I did eventually get the face to a point that works. And now, don't come for me for how I did the body. I know it's weird. I know it's a little messed up. Especially the pelvis area. Dear God, is that pelvis area fucked. I don't know what I did there. It's a mess. It was a mess, I'm gonna be honest. Most of this project is a mess with the meshes. But we don't need to talk about it. It's fine. It's fine. Like, the top and the bottom are definitely two separate pieces. They're not connected. They're like this. Same with the arms, the legs. Nothing is actually connected. Except maybe the head and neck. But I think that's it. Everything else, nothing is connected. Like, everything's just kind of, like, stacked on top of each other. Which isn't perfect. It's not perfect. I know, okay? I know. It's weird. I don't know why I did that, but I did. I do think that when I get to the legs, actually, I had, like, I got into the groove of things. I was figuring out how I wanted to do things, how this program worked, and I'm actually pretty proud of, like, the legs and the shoes. Like, they came out really well, and I wasn't expecting that, but they worked pretty well. They actually are, you know, what I'm looking for. And I'm not gonna lie, I did, in fact, sit down and just fucking go through this for, like, 8 hours straight of just me sitting at my desk and doing this. I don't recommend that. That was not a good idea. I definitely shouldn't have, but I did do it. And towards the end, it was like 4 in the morning, and I did the arms. And they, well, I did the arms. They aren't the best. I really don't like them. I don't like the arms, but I decided to just end things there for the night, and I was going to finish up the model the next day. But the arms are a little fucked. I delete the arms, okay? The first thing I did this day, I deleted those arms. They were not good. I needed to restart them, okay? And my second attempt with the arms were actually so much better. Like, genuinely. I'm still kind of unsure about the hands. I may eventually fix them, but for now, you know what? They're hands. They work. They look like a hand. I fixed my big issues with the arms and what I had with them, so it's fine. It's okay. I got things how I needed them. And we do not have to talk about the ridiculous way that I do the hair. I know. Trust me. I know it's weird. I know it's messed up. It is not good. It is incredibly fucked. But it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. We don't need perfection in this house. We don't even need decently good. We just need there. But after the hair, it meant that I got to start painting the model, and it's like my shackles are free. I am free to do the thing I know, what I can do. Oh, painting, how I missed you. Oh, something I know, something I can do. And now I was, like, painting this model with my mouse, mainly because I was lazy and I didn't want to set up my drawing tablet, but my mouse worked. It was fine. I didn't need my drawing tablet. And I just, I was just gonna get through it with my mouse. And then, just like that, the fucking program crashed. The fucking program crashed. I was doing this, I was painting the model. If something went wrong, it closed. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was so mad. Like, I was, like, decently in the painting process. I was like, yeah, I really got a groove going, and then the program crashed. And just like that, I started up again, all of that progress gone. I had to go back to the hair. The fucking shackles are back. I am stuck back to modeling. And you remember how I said the hair was bad? Well, good news. The bad part of the hair, it's still there. The good part, gone. It's gone. I have to redo that part. The part that actually was decent, I have to redo. So, there's that. I will say, though, that the second attempt at the bottom portion of the hair, I actually do think I like a little bit better. So, it's not all bad. It is still bad. It's not all bad. I did end up redoing a part, and it actually, I think, personally came out a little bit better. But even so, now, I can paint the model again. I can start painting the model. The thing I want. Shackles are free. Please, the shackles are free. And I will say this, I don't actually know why, but the two buns at the top of the head wouldn't let me paint. It took the base color, which is what was needed, but it wouldn't let me add any shading or anything, and I don't know why. I don't know what I messed up with the meshes there. I did something and it wasn't working. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the model is super odd. There are parts of it that are weird, but I made something. I made a model, and it's not perfect, and I genuinely have so much room to grow, but I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed painting it, and I was like, oh shit, this is actually kind of fun. And so now it's time to move on to Day 6. Day 6 was the bane of my fucking existence. Legit, even worse than the program fucking crashing on me. Worse than that. I kid you not. This was the day that I started doing the face. Okay. I'm being dramatic. I am being dramatic. It's not as bad as I'm saying, but I did struggle. I struggled a lot. I didn't really know how to get the face a face and keep it as a separate element so that I can change it. So in the end, I just kind of made the eyes and mouth planes so I could draw on those meshes. And that was kind of what I was planning on doing. Everything is slightly off the face, and I don't know if there is a way to not have that happen. But this is what I did. It works. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be there. And then the plan was to draw them in Clip Studio and then import it as its own separate texture and mesh. And it just didn't work. So then I was like, okay, what if I take the actual texture, edit it, add the faces into it like that? And I was trying to do that in MS Paint. I was trying to do it in a couple different programs, and it just, again, didn't work. I couldn't figure out how to get it to work. So in the end, I decided just to add them in the background as a reference, and then kind of trace over that way and draw it like that instead. And it ended up working, I don't think the face is perfect, but this was the best method for me personally. And you know how I said yesterday I didn't feel like setting up my tablet because I was too lazy? I didn't get the choice this time. I tried doing it with my mouse. It just was not mousing. It was not drawing how I wanted it to. So I had to actually set my tablet up for this. And I'm pretty sure when I did that, I may or may not have accidentally crashed the program anyways. Thank God it was saved, so it's not like I lost anything. I did lose some recording. I don't know what was in that recording, but I did manage to crash my entire PC. So, oops. I didn't crash it. I unplugged it on accident. That's what happened. But I did lose some footage that I don't actually know what was in it. So, oops. But I did the faces. I got the faces done. This, middle bit of me just having to trace my eyes that I already made and the mouth I already made. It was easy. It was simple. This middle bit is probably the easiest portion of this day. And, yeah, it was simple. It was easy. It was only a little tedious, is really just the issue I had. Was because I had so many eyes I wanted to cycle through and mouths I wanted to cycle through that I had a lot to draw. And then after they were all made, I did have to go in and make sure that everything was connected through the script. And I'm not going to try to explain it. Watch this video if you want it explained. I'm not going to do a good job. But I had to make sure that everything was connected right. And if you watch the side folder portion, you will see how many times I renamed this shit because I just kept messing up how I was supposed to name things. It was, and it was a pain, okay? It was tedious, it was a pain in the ass. I kept fucking, I kept fucking simple things up, it was kind of an issue, okay? This whole day was just a lot of doing something and not quite working, having to try something else, and that not working, and then finally figuring out what I needed to do, and it was a whole thing. This whole day was just kind of like a process, okay? It really was. But even so, you know what that means? I mean, I did everything. I did everything. Oh shit, I finished the project. Damn, guys, I finished this faster than planned. Huh. Well, damn, look at that. I actually finished a project within the time frame that I set myself. Yippee! And now, I'm not going to show off the medal quite yet. I will save that for the very end. But I do just have, like, a few little closing remarks before all that. I had a lot of fun doing this project. Like I said earlier, I've always been interested in 3D, and I just never really took that leap. Until I watched one single YouTube video, and I went, well, what if I tried that? What if I finally took that leap? And I am honestly really glad that I did. Because otherwise I never would have tried Blockbench. I would have always been like, well, one day I'll have to learn Blender. But instead, I have a base to like start off from, a beginner step into it. I don't have to immediately go into Blender. I can choose an easier program. As much as I complained about some of the shit I did, I didn't have a bad experience doing it. I'm complaining to complain, basically. I don't have a lot of issues with the program itself. I actually genuinely had a lot of fun making this little like model of my own persona I made. It was cute. It's cute. It came out really cute and fun, and I like it a lot. And even now, I still kind of want to go back and make all my OCs as little models. I'm probably not going to do that. That's a lot of work. But it's something I can think about. And even with all these like small little hiccups I did experience, it didn't sully the experience of making this model. I had fun. I enjoyed it. I want to make more. I want to go back in and make all of my OCs as little people that I can move, you know? Like, I had fun. I really did. And while I am mainly a 2D artist, and I probably always will be, this experience in taking a step into 3D was fun. It was cool. I'm really glad that I actually, like, stepped out of my comfort zone to do something I've never tried before. It was really fun. It was the point of making this channel, and I actually did it. And I am so glad that I did. I had fun making this. I had fun doing it and trying it. And honestly, you know what? Do it. Do it. That thing that's a little out of your comfort zone that you have always wanted to maybe try, do it. Maybe you'll hate it, and that's fine. But maybe you'll love it, you know? Do things. Do have fun, you know? Go a little out of your comfort zone. It's okay. It's scary, but it's fun. It's okay. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. So, I guess let's take a look at the final result. Damn it, where the hell did they go? They were just here. What the fuck? Oh, shit. Hi. Come closer. Not that close.